So pivoting a little bit, this is an issue that I personally very much care about. I've worked on a lot, especially having a family member that experienced gun violence. As you mentioned in your opening remarks, gun violence in America is top of mind for so many people right now. Yeah. And there is no place for political violence or gun violence in our nation. Last year, I was proud to advocate for new laws that were passed here in Michigan. I advocated as a gun owner, a responsible gun owner, including a red flag law, universal background checks, expanding them, and a safe storage law. But we know that we still need additional reasonable gun safety laws at the federal level. How are you and President Biden working to address gun violence in America?
So, Olivia, you've been a great leader on this, and I'm sorry for the personal tragedies that you've experienced. Gun violence in America today is the #1 cause of the death of children in America. Think about that. The #1 cause of the death of children in America is gun violence. Not car accidents, not some form of cancer, gun violence. Today in our country, 1 in 5 Americans has a relative, a family member who was killed by gun violence. And it doesn't have to be this way. And it's a false choice for people to say, well, you're either in favor of the Second Amendment or you want to take everyone's guns away. I'm in favor of the Second Amendment. I'm also in favor of the assault weapons ban, of universal background checks, red flag laws, right? And to your point, the leadership here in Michigan has been extraordinary on this. And we need people in Washington, D.C. to watch what you all have done and how you've done it, because you've also pulled together coalitions of people, Democrats and Republicans and independents. That bill doesn't care who you're registered to vote with. Think about this. And then think about it in terms of the trauma. So last fall I started a college tour. By the way, I love Gen Z. If you have Gen Z in your life, maybe it's complicated for you, but they're really great. They're really great. And among the many things that I would ask, these auditoriums full of these young leaders, I would ask them, raise your hand if at any time between kindergarten and 12th grade you had to endure an active shooter drill. It was bone-chilling. Almost every hand went up. Think about that. When I was growing up, I'll speak for some of us here, I think, we had fire drills. But this is a whole other thing. And our young people think there should be in the classroom experiencing the wonders of the world, and some part of their brain is concerned that someone will bust through that classroom door. And think about the trauma that gun violence has exacted not only on our young people who are afraid of what might happen in the context of a mass shooting. Think of the trauma in terms of everyday gun violence that happens in places around our country. That trauma being undiagnosed and untreated. There are so many permeations and ramifications of this gun violence. In fact, we just announced a couple days ago, under the president and our administration, we created 988. In fact, I'd encourage everyone here to know about it and pass it on. And it's basically a crisis line where people who are in crisis, it's not only a talk line, but there are mental health professionals who answer it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, anonymously. So people can text or call when they're experiencing crisis to bring it down and also to know where to get help. But these are all the ramifications of this. And the solutions don't really require that much creativity. What they do require is people in the United States Congress to have courage to act and do what we know is the right thing to do, and not cower based on special interest and powerful lobbyists who are encouraging them to do something that actually is contrary to what is the health and well-being of our nation on such a specific issue.